Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CLSR. And I'm your host, the counselor. Today, we're going to be talking about the language of love. And the language of love simply is what you use with your partner. See, when it comes to relationships, language is everything. Just as soon as a wrong phrase can set your lover off, a perfectly worded sentence could also unlock her heart. And see, while no two women are exactly the same, there are indeed phrases that just about anyone, any woman on earth would love to hear. Matter of fact, if you put all them together, you would hear what you're going to hear in my podcast. I think when we get in relationships, especially after we've had some time, spent some years, we start to slip, we start to fall, we start to forget. We forget what we should be saying, how we should be talking, how we should be communicating and expressing ourselves. It matters because as time goes on, we become accustomed to that person. We start to forget their value, and our lack of appreciation has a negative impact on our relationships. The next thing you know, we don't have any relationships because we forgot the language of love. Have you been in a relationship so long that you forgot how to speak to your partner? Have you gotten to a place where it's all business or family or your children or your commitments or what you want to do with your life? However, you're forgetting that person that is a primary caregiver. And I mean primary because they're caring for you. You see, what happens is we forget about this balance. When I mean caregiver, you have to be a caregiver because I know you're a care receiver because women take care, period. So if you have a woman or a partner, period, in your life, you have to remember you have to be a caregiver as well, not just a caretaker. See, the caretaker is being mistaken for that person that's working right in the school cleaning up. Well, you have to be that person. You have to clean up your relationship. You have to get back to the language of love and start taking care of business. See, it's almost like a maintenance. Relationships aren't just there, they're not just static. But we forget that. We make assumptions and excuses for not being good to our partners. And some of you haven't been good for so long, you don't even know how to say things anymore. You don't know how to talk. You don't know how to communicate. You don't know what she wants to hear or what they want to hear. So, what do we say? How do we talk? What did we forget that made this relationship what it is today? How did we get here? So sometimes you have to go back. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk about the language of love and things that we need to be saying to our partner to keep a healthy relationship. And you have to talk to your partner. Like, say things that's going to make them feel good about themselves. Talk to them, right? You know what I love about you? That's something simple you could tell them. It's endearing, makes them feel good. Women love specifics. We know you love them. However, you're not communicating that. And they know they want to be appreciated. It's that little extra thought that can make things so sweet. And sometimes sweet is just good enough. It shows you are there and you're paying attention. And what about when you get into these arguments? Oh, we all have our sides. We all have our opinions of what we believe to be right. And you might be right, but every once in a while you're not right. But you got this attitude that you got to be right. So you become defensive and argumentative. Or it becomes the norm that you're so right that you shut that person down where they don't feel that they can talk at all. Well, no, the truth is you have to acknowledge and say to your partner, tell her, you're right. Sometimes it's better to own up to the fact that she's right and you're not. Humility is a virtue most women can appreciate. It also won't hurt you if you tell them every once in a while that you're sorry, that you made a mistake, and be genuine about it, right? Just do it. It's good for you. And talk to them. If they look good and fantastic and they're taking care of themselves, see, women put a lot of time into taking care of themselves, a lot of work as well. So it would benefit you if you tell them they look amazing. You look amazing, sweetie. You're looking fine. Keep it simple. It's effective. Women want to know, they want to hear that they're beautiful. It may sound shallow, but it's not. It makes sense. It helps women boost their confidence and they feel more loved. So if you're trying not to just impress them, acknowledge them and let them know they look beautiful. Don't overdo it though. See, there's certain guys out there, they just, it's called balance. Think of balance. Don't do anything too much. Don't overdo it. It's cheesy, but do it. I think the problem is I have to tell people to overdo it because a lot of people, they don't do it enough. So what happens is they feel, oh well, I'm not going to overdo it. So doing it once in a while, maybe I'll do it once in a while, but they end up not doing it at all, and they wonder when they come to me and they talk. I say to some of my clients, "Are you talking the language of love? When was the last time you complimented your woman, acknowledged her, appreciated her, even said you are there for her?" And you'd be surprised at responses. It's just sad because it's one of the last things we do in the relationship. We feel that once we're in these relationships, we don't have to do any work. We don't have to sustain them. We don't have to keep the balance. We don't have to be givers. We're takers. Matter of fact, we're caretakers, right? We take the care from these partners of ours, but we don't give. And that's where we're lacking. And that's where the language of love comes in. And let them know how committed you are. Let them know that you are in it with them. Tell them, we're in this together, sweetie. I'm here for you. You can depend on me. I got your back. They love to hear that you're committed, especially once in a while when they're feeling down and they might wonder or worry. You got to reaffirm this commitment. Most women want to hear your commitment to them because this creates some security. Let them know you're in it for the long haul. Let them do their business. Don't create no doubt. Make this commitment and let them know we're in it forever. This is you and me. We don't know what tomorrow will bring, but I know what today's all about. So you express that. You make sure you're in it and you let them know you're in it. Don't assume. We make too many assumptions. And if you're making love and you're getting the stars in your eyes and you're feeling fantastic, you also have to say that. The night we had last night was incredible. It was wonderful. I had such a great time and it was fantastic. You made me feel so good. You're sexy. And I appreciate that about you. Women like to hear they're good in bed. It's a routine to many of you, but it doesn't have to be. They want to know that they are providing pleasure to their partner and their partner is happy with their sex life. Do it. Talk. The silence. So many of us have silence in our sex life. And the counselor is going to be doing a podcast on silence in your sex life. And there's a lot of insecurity when it comes to sex. We don't really talk about it with our partners, especially men, right? They don't want to hear how good they are in bed. And women don't want to tell them because a lot of you got those egos. And if you tell them they're not good in bed, guess what? Your ego, you won't recover. You'll go out there and do something silly because you got your feelings hurt. No, you're not going to try and improve yourself. You're not going to try to get better. You're not going to try to seek some help. You're going to get offended and dismissive because you don't feel that you can change. So if she's saying things where she's not being pleased, then you know she's not, there's a part of her that's not happy. But if she can't express it to you, that's a problem. So silence in your sex life is a podcast that's coming soon. But I'm going to tell you right now, when you're getting the pleasure, you better start talking about it once in a while, letting her know, and to show some appreciation. There's too many of you not doing that. And this is a reminder that you need to do that. We go through a lot, especially during this pandemic. We go through a lot of ups and downs, insecurities, right? Uh, Uncertainty, difficulties. And what we need is we need to know that we are present for our partners. So if they have things on their mind, we have to talk to them. Say, hey, listen, if you want to talk, I'm here. And I mean, let them talk. Too often you think sitting down talking to your partner is about you listening for 2 seconds and then you want to chime in. You weren't really asking her because you really care about what she had to say. You were just making sure that everything's okay in the relationship. You're trying to do a checks and balance thing. You weren't really interested in what she wants to hear. I can't even tell you how many women sit down and say to me, you know what, he's not listening. He's in front of me, but he's not listening. Oh, he talks more than he listens when he asks me to talk to him. Oh, we start out listening, and next thing you know, he's taking over, and the conversation's going totally. He's not interested, so I don't even waste my time, and I just give him those one-word responses. I'm okay, because they know you're not really in it to listen. And the truth is, if you want to speak, you're teaching. If you want to listen, you're learning. Remember that. Remind her that you are there for her emotionally whenever she needs anything. It's not all about material things or financial expressions of love. You should check out the empathy and the listening and understand you need to have that. It's a vital part of a relationship. Stop trying to read the mind. Stop making assumptions. Forget about what you want all the time. Sometimes check in, because that's not a balanced relationship if you're okay and you want to sit there and check. Because too many of us, soon as we hear something in that conversation, we start either being defensive or reactive to what you heard. If something's on her mind and it's you, which a lot of the times it's something you did, she might not even be able to tell you. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. But how you respond or react to what she's saying will determine if she's ever going to have that open conversation with you again. It's called shutdown. Should be called man down, but it's called shutdown. See, the man starts going to that low value man, not a high value man. He's a low value man. He's pretending to care. And that's one of the biggest turnoffs in relationship, when you're not genuine and you're pretending to care. So tell her, I'm here if you want to talk. And actually zip your lip and be quiet and hear what she has to say. And if you have to go that whole day without responding and just thinking and processing, come from a supportive mindset. If you can do that, you're in like Flynn. You actually are part of a relationship. Otherwise, you're part of a transaction, an exchange, a commitment, a safety versus security relationship. You're really not there for them. And you have to understand relationships need balance. And we forget that. And that's why a lot of them don't last. And ask her what's meaningful for her in her life. Show that you care. Pose a question. It's a great tool for establishing some love and some intimacy. It could be early on in the relationship and even later on, right? Your partner is not an extension of you. They're entirely different individuals. There will be things to discover throughout the years, but this pulls you closer together. You'd be surprised when you're sitting across from someone that you've been with and you actually talk to them in a manner that is open, genuine, and you show that you actually care. So you talk to them and you say, hey, pose a question. What is on your mind, but what's meaningful to you? Have you had some meaningful experiences? Tell me about them, right? Or what do you value? Every once in a while, check it out. You could be with a partner for a couple years, but every once in a while, it's going to change. From what was meaningful at the beginning of the relationship will be different from what it is a year or two. Check in every once in a while. I don't mean yearly, but check in. Know that things will change. People will experience different feelings. It's not always the same, but as us men, we assume, I don't know, for some reason, a lot of you put it on a scale that everything is the same all the time and feelings don't change. You have to put in work in a relationship, just like you put in work on that job, right? You have to put some work in. I don't know, but somewhere along the line, we've lost some of our sensitivity. You see, when we're talking to our partners about even their looks, you never say certain things. There's certain things you should never say. You shouldn't be commenting on their weight. That's their business, how they deal with it. They will have their moments where they're not feeling as secure and they might need some reassurance. So if you do notice some differences, don't be in their personal business when it comes to that. Women want to know that even in their bad days, that they're still beautiful and desirable. So hold those giggles and those smirks or the rolling of the eyes. Men, we do that. We have a tendency to laugh or, oh, I see, and make those comments, disparaging comments that are actually put downs. And that's a sign of a low value man, right? Because he's got something to say. You know those men that always have something to say, it doesn't even really matter. She'll look great, and if she's not looking great, he's got something to say. It's true. And then this actually causes some strife in the relationship because you got so much to say that you forgot that's your queen. You forgot. So you feel that whenever you're in your mood and you notice maybe she's on her low, if you kick her when she's down and you say something, it's a bad sign. Never actually stay away from the weight gain and those type of comments. Don't do that. You should never ask a woman if she's gained weight. Never, ever, ever. That's a rule. Take it from the counselor. Keep away from that one. And if you don't, because we do, if you don't understand something, right, you got to be honest. You're not always going to understand things, but you got to understand one big thing is being honest. If you don't understand something, instead of lying, being passive aggressive, going around it, say it. I don't understand, but I'm going to try to understand. Because sometimes we don't understand. A woman could be going through something and we want to act like we do, but it's more reassuring to them if we're genuine and we're honest and we say, listen, you know what, I don't really understand what you're going through, but I'm going to try. You might even have to help me through this. Being a little bit sensitive, because too many of you are losing that sensitivity. And that attitude behind the I don't understand is problematic. I don't understand. I'm never going to understand. You're a woman. I'm a man. That's garbage. We use that gender all the time as an excuse. Stop with the excuses. Stop with the ego. Let's get in touch with people, right? Let's understand that we are working together. This is actually something that we're doing together. We're going on this journey together. So we should be saying to our partners, how can I support you? See, a lot of women seek partnerships that encourage their growth. nurture their talents, and allow them to be their best selves. It's not enough to talk to talk. Women want to see some action. They do. They want to see some follow through. And this will more than likely lead to some happiness in the relationship. You can show some thoughts of support by even saying, how can I support you? And listening and actually following through. Not just talking about it and then the next day you done forgot about what you said or what she was saying when she was very serious. How many times have you followed through? That should be a wake up call. When was the last time your partner said something to you and was really being upfront? Instead of you letting it just fall on their shoulders, how many of you actually take the time to address and support when needed? Even in 2020, we're having some difficulties. See, men, we still struggle with opening up and sharing. Many of us, not all of us, but many of us. We have difficulties revealing our vulnerable side. However, women do appreciate, they want to love their men. Women love to hear what you're feeling, some of your thoughts. See, these have been challenges for a lot of young men growing up, and it still becomes a challenge in 2020. Being able to express. Oh, if I express, what's she going to do? Does it even really matter? Like, how's she going to? No, those are all in our mind, right? These are fears that we have. And fear can be false expectation of appearing real. So that's a big one. Say, I'm feeling, if you're frustrated, you said frustrated. Something you got into, some comments that were said the day before, and she could be wondering about it. But she shouldn't have to ask you. You have to learn to communicate your feelings and your thoughts. And no, it's not always going to make her feel good, but it's better than being in the dark about it and you acting out passive aggressively or just saying things that you don't mean. And a lot of times we can avoid saying things that are hurtful and that are aggressive or that build up if we learn to express our feelings. Hey, I'm feeling a little sad about what happened yesterday. Or I'm feeling frustrated. Talk about your feelings. Women do want to know because it's not something many of them ever hear. I'm sure there's women out there that could tell you they don't talk about their feelings. We just don't talk about it unless they're angry or they're defensive or they're passive aggressive. That's when I know what's on his mind. It shouldn't be the case. So as men, we have to say what we're feeling and learn that that's a part of the relationship. Let them know that they are sexy. They want to know that you're attracted to them. Say it. You are sexy. You're hot. I love what I got. You're hot. Let's stir the pot. Anyways, have a sense of humor, but let them know that they are sexy. Women want to know that you find them beautiful. Yes, for sure. But they also want to know that there's an attraction between you two. That there's something that's keeping you gravitating, that, that is just that oomph, right? Express that. Tell them they're sexy. And I don't mean just say it, just say it. Be genuine, but say it. Make sure you're expressing that. Along with the need to be wanted, can you share with your partner? Show your partner that you actually want her help and you value her opinion. This is fantastic if you could do that. It's such a great idea. It goes a long way to showing your confidence and her abilities. Say, hey, can I get your help with this? Or can I get your perspective? We do it a lot of the times when we're falling. No, but just make it a part of the relationship. It doesn't just take one person who does everything all the time. You have to be able to communicate and share. And a lot of men understand that women are our partners, and we got to work together, and we got to believe in each other, and we got to have confidence in our abilities and their abilities. But we have to ask. Forget this wall of silence. Ask, what do you think about this? I'm thinking about doing this. I can't tell you how many clients I've had where they've gone through um, so many uh, obstacles. They go by this, they go out there, and then what happens is they do all these things. They set up either the arrangement for restaurants, or they think that their partner wants this renovation done, or they have their own ideas about it. And what happens is they don't get the ideas or support from their partner, and then when the partner dismisses it, or they don't agree with what you've done, men get their feelings hurt and they become aggressive, or they become pouty like little babies, and they pout. And it's because they thought that they were going in the right direction because they had to lead all the time, and they forgot that they have somebody that they should be talking to. Don't go out there and spend a lot of money trying to impress when you have not talked to your partner. Let them know. I can tell you of a situation where one of my clients actually was buying flowers for his wife, and he made all these assumptions that that's what she wanted, right? And he assumed that this was something that he did all the time. But when he actually sat down and talked with her, she said, "No, that's not what I don't like that anymore. It's not something. Oh, I know we started the relationship and I used to love it, but I'm not really into flowers anymore. Actually, I like my own flowers." So that's fine. Or when he was working on a project and he needed some advice, he asked everybody at his work except for his partner, who was actually well versed. I don't know. Sometimes you get in these relationships where we become competitive against each other. So instead of asking or believing in your partner, you're competing against your partner, and you don't want them to know your success or your failure because you're afraid of being judged by your partner, or you're just insecure. So you don't actually put yourself out there. But if you do get perspective from your partner, it goes a long way. And you do show your appreciation in their confidence and their abilities. However, it's just sad how some of these relationships go where they're competing with each other, or they just neglect these minor things that turn into major things. And these are just relationship dynamics that people neglect. And I'm going to tell you something that really seems obvious that we don't use is that I love you word. I think as time goes on, we use it less and less. Unless somebody's doing something for you, then you're putting it out there. But it sounds easy, but it's probably one of the least said statements that women want to hear regularly in relationships is simply, I love you. And I don't want to hear this, oh, men don't say I love you. If you want to be in a relationship, you say I love you. If you care, you say I love you. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to in relationships who've had children, and they will tell their children every day, oh, I love you, I love you. But then the partner, their wife, or their female partner, or male, or whatever, in a relationship, their partner, they don't tell them they love them. Those simple words, they just go every day, or they might give a peck on the cheek, but they don't even say, I love you. And if you're at that point in the relationship where you forgot to even acknowledge that, those little things make a difference. It's easy to say, but it's not being said. And it would surprise you how many people do not say it. And don't just say, I love you. Do something. Make plans. Women feel cared about when their partner makes plans, does something for them. Whether you go all out on an ultra romantic date, or if you're planning to cook dinner, watch a movie, take some time to put something together. Women appreciate when people show them that they care about them. Say, hey, listen, you know what? I booked us a night out tonight. We're going downtown. We got a little jazz restaurant we're going to. It's a surprise, but it shows that you care when you take the initiative to make plans. And too many of you step back. See, you started your relationship where you're making all these plans, and what you did was you had her in the relationship, you made some plans, and as soon as you established a relationship, time went on, kids got into the gig, and next thing you know, you're forgetting, you're not doing those things anymore. But it makes a relationship, it does make a difference. Doing fun things as a couple, a little surprise here and there, brings vitality to the relationship. Date night. How many of you even have it on a calendar, date night? Are we just going through our motions, our regular routines? It's easy to do that. Time does not wait for anyone. Use your time wisely. Yes, we all have commitments, but there are no excuses. A lot of you only want to do it when you notice that she's not paying attention, or her attention's elsewhere, or she doesn't seem happy. So you figure, oh, now I got to. Nope. It's got to be maintenance. Sustainable relationships take maintenance. You got to be the maintenance man. And you got to show that you care. And every once in a while, you got to get out there. You got to make those plans. And if you started making those plans, don't stop making plans. Make plans. Don't forget. Make some plans. Get out there, do some things. Now, it's COVID-19, and that's no excuse. People say, oh, it's COVID-19. No, that doesn't mean you can't still go to the park, take her out somewhere, plan something, show your interest. Don't give no excuses. If anything, it's a great time to do that. You don't have to get together with 100 people, but there are things open that you can do together. So take some initiative. Say, hey, we're going here. I got us something. And if she can't go, that's okay. Don't get your feelings hurt. If she's got other obligations, well, just let her know, hey, that's okay. We'll rain check. We'll do something. At least she knows that you're looking and doing something for her. That is important. And it's not just for her, it's for both of you. The love has to be there, but it has to be expressed. There is work to do in relationships. Sadly enough, we'd have to say that a lot of you are only really making compliments when you see your woman all dolled up. See, when she goes through all that work, she dolls up, so you say, oh, you look so beautiful. However, you do need to know that that is not the only time you talk the language of love. You have to show that, look, talk to her in the sense that let her know, look, I love you without the makeup. You know, physical beauty is one thing, but don't wait until she's all dolled up all the time or dressed to the nines, because then she might feel that this is what she has to do all the time to make you feel happy. No, it's just as important to let her know she's beautiful when she's just sitting around the house in those yoga pants, or she's just in her regular dress. You know, just let her know, I appreciate you. You look beautiful and I love you. Right? Reinforce that you don't have to go overboard for me. I love you genuinely. Right? Be genuine. Don't make it a chore. Don't make it just a habit. Acknowledge that it's not just skin deep. Right? It's not surface beauty. And tell them what you think one of their best qualities is. Everyone wants to be loved. But more than that, appreciation goes a lot further. The method of appreciation saves relationships. Spend some time appreciating her. Not just for what she's done, but for who she is. She will hear it and she will love you for it. I think the lack of appreciation should be front and center when it comes to diagnosing and looking at your relationship. Ask yourself the question, do I show my appreciation for my partner? And if I don't, what should I be doing? And why am I not doing this? Do I want this thing? Do I appreciate this relationship that I'm in? Because if you can look at your relationship and you say, no, I don't really show, or I might say things, saying is one thing, doing's another. It's a combination. It's not just saying, it's doing, saying, appreciation, right? It's a lot, but it's not just talk. You got to walk the walk. If you're on a life's journey together, express that and let them know, your partner, that you love spending time with them. Whether you've been there for a month or two or even for decades, women want to hear that they are fun to be with. Knowing that the partners feel that they are a blast, they're appreciated, but this allows them to feel more confident and settled in the relationship. And when you think you're settled in the role, you're not. Every once in a while, you have to do a little bit where it's needed. Like do certain things that are out of your routine. Like I've got it, baby. Let me take care of this for you. Oh, no, 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 I got it. No, I got it. Let me do this for you. And I mean simple things. You'd be surprised how many men are neglecting the simple things. Like, let's say she's worked all day or even didn't work all day and the dishes are piled up and you just take it over. Forget those stereotypes. Forget what everybody else is saying. Not everyone's in your relationship. Every once in a while, even the most independent, capable woman sometimes wants you to take over in certain areas. It's not about making her feel like she can't do it. It's about making her feel that you want to help out, that you do appreciate and understand. Think of all the things a lot of women are doing for you. Not just your children, for you. And it wouldn't hurt. I don't care if you had a long day at work. I don't care if you have a project to do till the late hours. If you see somewhere you can help out, do that. Give it a break every once in a while where you stop just going through your regular routine and start looking at ways you can do something to support your woman, your partner. Do that. I will do this, baby. Let me do this. I got this. It shows so much. It speaks volumes without speaking at all. And there are days when your partner might have a hard day, a long, exhausting, rough day, and you just need to be there for them. So when they're expressing that, you don't need to fix it. It's not that they're looking for a fix, they just might have had a bad day. Show some empathy. Be there. Say, listen, honey, I'm sorry you had a rough day. I'm sorry that happened to you. You'll be okay. We're going to be okay. Right? It is imperative that we demonstrate our feelings, not always try to be Mr. Fix It. We all have our rough days, and sometimes women want to hear that you know what, you're just there. That's it. And these little comments like, you know what, that's okay. You'll be all right. Tomorrow's a new day. Just demonstrate that you care. And don't be afraid to be that person that tells that partner of yours, hey, I really like talking to you. I feel like I could say anything to you. See, women want to hear that their partner feels comfortable talking openly with them, talking to them about anything. It just establishes a deeper trust between the two of you. It helps build attachment, creates a bond, right? Solidifies that bond when women know that you are comfortable talking to them about anything. It's just good for the relationship. And let them know that you genuinely respect them. We talk about sex, misogyny, how we are in relationships and what our goals are. However, when you're talking about respect with your partner, let them know what you respect them for. Instead of just telling her she did a good job on something or helped you out in a certain way, what do you respect her for? Could be what she thinks about all the time. I respect that you're strong in this area. I respect that this is you taking care of your business. I respect you for being a insightful person, and I respect how you handle situations, how you keep your cool, and you don't, you're not all over the place. I respect that about you. You have a characteristic about you that I not only respect, but I also appreciate. And I respect the fact that you give it to me straight. Even though sometimes I don't want to hear it, I respect that you are crystal clear in your communication. And I can depend on that. And I appreciate that. See, that's what you talk about. Those are the comments that I respect you because. And state the reason why. And be genuine in your statement. And learn to be a little bit playful. I think some of us are so serious. We take ourselves so serious to the point that we feel that we have to be controlling to have some security, and it's so far from the truth. Learn to be a little bit playful, not in a jealous way, but like, I have to say that this is going to be hard for some guys to take, but the truth is you got to be a little bit playful. You got to let your woman know that she's appreciated, not just from you but from other guys too. Like a little competition, will make her feel a little bit hot, attractive, and she'll understand that you understand that she's not the only one. So if you say, hey man, I see a lot of those guys looking at you, I seen them checking you out over there, and now I guess, you know what, good for you, you look good. See, this gives them a boost of confidence as well, because they do realize that you are not just a control magnet, and that you understand that you are not the only person in the world, and that there is something out there called competition, and it's real, and you're aware of it, and you're not in fear of it, and it's an eye opener. However, many men get a little guy look at your woman, you get all upset, pushed out of shape, you act like you don't got any sense because you're a control freak and you think you own somebody, and that's where the problem is. And see, when you've been with somebody so long, that's all you learn how to express is your insecurities. So you don't even know how to back yourself up or get yourself back in place. You don't know how to show it. See, it shows appreciation when you have a wonderful woman, or a woman, period, in your life that you care about and you love, and you're secure in that and saying, hey, listen, I look at it like, look, each and every day that we're together, we should want to be together. We should appreciate that that person wants to be with me. Not that I got to worry about everybody. Hey, every day that we're together. And that's how we should think in relationships. The appreciation that this person wants to spend their lives with me. And I appreciate that. And I want to continue to do it. And I want to show my appreciation. That's what we should be saying in relationships. Not that this person how am I going to keep this person under my wing? No, I appreciate this person being with me, and they're spending time with me, and they're giving their all in their lives, and we're sharing things together. So how can I show my appreciation for this? That's how we should act. However, a lot of us get in tune with this. We're together. We have to do this, and you have to be doing these things to make my life good, or I don't have to reciprocate, or I'm just here. It's the way it is, and we have kids, so we got this. That no, that's a problem, and that's where you start to fall, because it's called routine, the daily routine. And we all get caught up in this daily routine, and we got to snap out of it every once in a while. We got to stop pretending that we're just deserving of somebody because we think we look good, or we have a special talent, or we're smart, or we think we're the financial provider of the family, or this person won't be any good without me. It's so silly. And that's where relationships don't become relationships anymore, because we've taken that person for granted. And so, yes, we do have to acknowledge that you have somebody wonderful in your life, and that there will be other people, but it's nothing to fall apart from. I feel if she's running away, she's running away. And if she's running away, is because there's something you're doing, or Maybe she's just running away because that's life. But sometimes, no matter how hard you try, the harder you try sometimes to control, the worse it is in a relationship. The worse the relationship is when you try so hard to control and maintain and make these assumptions and keep your world intact through control and aggression or manipulation. It's not good for the relation. So keep this in mind. A little fun, a little play, and appreciation goes a long way. Be open. Be more open and flexible. Instead of telling your partner what they need to do to try to make your life complete, be more open. Just sometimes women need to be heard. Say, hey, what do you need from me? What can I do for you? Just tell me. And when they're hustling and working, tell them your work is so important. The work that you do is so important. And I mean by work, all work that they're doing has to be expressed. You have to say it. I'm not talking about the work that they have at the workplace, just that. The work that they're doing in the home, the work that they're doing in the community, the work period has to be expressed. Your work is so important. Women want to feel honored for the work that they do, whether it's cleaning, working outside of the home, or taking care of the children. Just like men, women want to feel validated, that their work is being seen and valued, especially by the people that they care about most. And if you want to be one of those people that they care about most, you better start talking. You better start saying the things that you do. Let them know. Say you're smart. Tell them. Say you're smart. I like to hear that. You say I'm smart. I'm good. I feel good. Why not them? Tell them they're smart. They don't need the mathematical problem to be solved in front of you. Let them know they're smart. Too many of you aren't telling them they're smart. And they're very, very smart, just like you. Just as smart as you, if not even smarter. But they're smart. But we forget that because we think we got to give them the lovey-dovey talk all the time. The lovey-dovey talk only works so long. Be genuine when you tell them what's up. They don't have to prove anything, but acknowledge. When you look, you don't have to look far to see, right? But too many of you got your eyes closed. You're walking around blindly. Say what you mean, right? Thanks for that. Thanks for taking care of that. Even if you are a stay-at-home mom and you take care of your business, whether you have children or not, thanks for that. When they do things for you, little things for you, taking care of business, thank you for that. Say thank you. Tell your lady that you acknowledge and appreciate the hard work she does to maintain even the household or a business that she's running or she's doing chores or paying a bill or accounting. Whatever it is, say thank you. I appreciate you doing that. This helps reinforce that her actions do not go unappreciated. I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to and I've heard even from the women saying um, they want to know that they're number one in their man's life. They do. And from what I understand, a lot of them say this is something they could hear regularly. You're the only one for me. You're the only one for me. This phrase is empowering. It shows devotion and is most importantly genuine love. Show that genuine love and caring. I want to know that I'm the only one for her, so I'm sure she could appreciate that she's the only one for me. So we got to say that. We have to talk. We have to let them know because we got to stop the assumptions. We got to stop believing that it's okay. I think every once in a while you got to check to see if things are okay. Oh, for sure. But you got to show that love and care, that appreciation, that respect, the acknowledgement. It's got to come from within and it has to be a part of the relationship. I don't care if you write these things down, these comments that I'm making. I really think we should because it's a reminder. We should have journals. We should all be keeping journals of certain priorities in our lives. Too many people are just going day to day without thinking, right? We have to prioritize our work. We have to prioritize our chores around the house. We have to prioritize our commitments. But why don't we have to prioritize our relationships? And I think that if we start to record down things that will make the relationship and put priority to those, like we do our commitments to work, we're in a better place together. So, we had such a great conversation today, and I have to say, I do appreciate my listeners, and be like the wise old bird and spread the word, because this is about empowering people. That's what the counselor is trying to do: inform and empower. So, take care of yourself, people.